Welcome back to Pubcast, the pod where mates get together for a chat over a couple of beers to discuss everything from the latest annoyances in life to solving world peace.
Might be a bit of an arse feel, but we can most certainly try our best.
We'll try.
We're looking to create a fun and informative pod with the hope of making you feel as if you've just walked into the pub and joined us for a chat. Whether that be for a moan about your crappy day, Phil's rants, or when I just need to emotionally offload.
Are we going to do that every day?
Pack it in, mate.
At times it will just be us. I'm Phil,
I'm Mark.
but from time to time we'll be joined by friends, fellow regulars and sometimes even strangers for interesting and illuminating conversations, some of which might be useful.
To someone we owe.
We hope. So let's order up some drinks and get on with this week's episode. Whose round is it, mate?
Definitely yours, Phil.
A quick word of caution. This podcast may contain strong language and topics that some people may find upsetting or offensive, and may not be suitable for young people. Please remember the management reserve the right to refuse entry.
Good evening, Phil.
Good evening, Mark.
How are we?
I'm bloody marvellous.
Bingo!
Ding, 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 ding.
Loved it.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, pretty good day. Went for a massage today, which was very nice.
Very nice.
A little bit in pain for me. It's like one of those deep tissue ones.
Okay.
Hey ho, I'm not going to tell all my woes.
Some big burly man who looks like he could rip you apart.
It's kind of, yeah. Doesn't look burly, but arms strong as anything and hands strong as anything.
Yeah.
It kind of hurts, but in a nice way.
Okay, well, that's nice.
You?
What about me?
Are you okay?
Should we say yes?
I mean, if the group is here to share with.
Okay. No, then.
No.
Well, I mean, a little bit meh. Let's just go a little bit meh.
Bit meh?
Yeah, meh.
Do you want to talk about it, or are you okay?
Do I want to talk about it? No, I don't think so.
Cool. Well, that then is a pretty good segue onto what our topic is today.
Ignore Phil and crack on.
We're gonna, well, I've literally only just told you, haven't I, as we've turned up here.
Well, yes, I am somewhat in the dark, but you know what? Jeopardy can be adventurous, can't it?
Absolutely.
You know?
So, we're talking about boundaries today.
Boundaries.
Boundaries. And I'm not talking about fences or walls.
Okay. I do a lot with boundaries.
Yeah, you're doing your job, yeah.
You know, we call them boundary treatments.
Brilliant.
It's exciting, my world, isn't it?
You're welcome, listeners, for that one from Phil.
I'm trying to think the
The
word...
gift that keeps on giving.
I really am, aren't I? You know, I am so fun. I'm trying to think... You use the word boundary in a sport somewhere, don't you? I'm trying to think...
What, like a tennis
cricket.
game or something?
Cricket,
Oh, cool.
when you get a boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
But you're not talking about them.
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking
I
about...
don't think we can do an hour of podcast about cricket.
I think Greg James actually already has one about that, so
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
we're not going to tread on his toes.
And we don't know anything about cricket.
No, I know very little, except for would like to go to a cricket game
Yes.
and drink beer all day, because that sounds fun.
I do have a piece of current affairs news about cricket.
Oh, go on then, let's slip it in there.
Jofra Archer is out of the Ashes.
I don't know who that is.
So Jofra Archer is a black guy who is... So he's played very few games but got like tons of wickets. He's amazing.
okay.
Like really fast bowler.
Very talented then.
Really tall, really fast, really, really talented.
Okay.
But apparently the life of a fast bowler, you're just smashing your body to bits. And
Makes about sense.
and he's got a stress...
Makes about sense. Is that a phrase?
I don't know. He's now. But he's got a
welcome, Will.
stress fracture of his elbow.
Yeah.
Before we get on to boundaries, should we do hero and villains? Right, villains, Tory party. Done. Move on.
Hero?
Do you know they've got this National Conservatives conference going on at the moment.
God, can you imagine being at that thing?
Oh, mate, you want to hear some of these people? What they're saying is vile, right? So it on the, you know, like you get the podium and it's got the little sign thing on it. So it says National Conservatives.
Brilliant.
So you think it's something to do with the Conservative Party? It's not. It's some American billionaire think tank lobby group who've paid basically...
How much?
Oh, God knows. But basically all of the arseholes in the UK to go and speak at it. Anyway, some funny people have come up. So it's called the National Conservative. People have started calling it the Nazi Rally.
That's about right.
It's a good one, isn't it?
It is.
It's a good one. And my favourite shithead, Suella Braverman.
You know what? Obviously, since you've spoken on the pod about her, I went and had a look at her.
Oh.
'Cause I was just like, let's see what this woman is actually about. Can we call her a woman? No, not really.
Not a human.
No, not human. She's some alien. Evil one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking vile.
She is horrible, isn't she?
Fucking vile, mate. Yeah, just a piece of shit. Fuck you.
Fuck her.
Yeah, fuck it.
Her latest one is, we don't need immigration, we should be training our own people to pick fruit and drive lorries.
Brilliant. Well done, you.
Well done.
What a great solution you are. Oh, you know, actually, I've got a bit of a thing for her then. Why don't we bring back child labour? Because they have little hands and they'll be good at picking stuff.
Really
So
good.
let's just do that.
Let's just do that.
Yeah, let's just say they have summer breaks and Easter bank holidays and May bank holidays.
They've got
they can
loads.
Go do that.
Jesus Christ, mate, they finish school at 3:30.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of time in the day. For goodness sake.
Get them in the fields.
See? Right, are we going to now claim thousands as a think tank on that?
Yes.
You're welcome.
Let's do that.
Party.
We need to register ourselves.
We've just come up with your solution.
We need to register ourselves immediately at 55 Tufton Street. All of the think tanks, that's where they're all registered.
Love it.
55 Tufton Street.
Love it.
Yeah. And they're charities, you know, they don't pay tax.
Of course they are.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Right, very quickly before we get onto your boundaries, we're going to have a hero now.
Hero. Let's think of a good hero.
You have one? I don't have one to hand.
You know what? I had a very nice experience with a client this week.
Okay.
So I finished a job yesterday. I was doing a 2-day install for them. I won't go into details about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I went back in the afternoon. I had to fill in an old flue hole and do some little repairs and stuff. So I was like, cool, get back. And the lady client was very grateful and she was talking to us whilst I was doing these little patch repairs.
That sounds like the beginning of a plot line to a porn movie.
And she... And I asked her, I was like, oh, what do you do for work? Do you work? And she went, well, actually, I'm signed off with at work at the moment, but I'm a teacher's assistant.
Okay.
I went, oh, because I'm nosy. I asked what was wrong, and she had a little dip moment, as some people do, probably judging the atmosphere. And then she told me, well, actually, I'm signed off work with depression.
Oh.
And I have been for 3 months, and I'm working through some stuff, and
Got her bad.
and it's got her that bad. And I'm gonna obviously I had a longer chat with her. I was speaking with her about for about an hour or so about this. So I would just want to put her out as a hero for being able to talk about that.
It's good to talk.
I'm gonna say she's the hero of the week because she was brave enough to say it, and I think there's a lot of people out there that aren't brave enough to say it.
Do you know what? I'm going to add in a little personal... I'm not sure if hero's the right word, but fuck it, we'll go with it.
Fuck it.
So one of my neighbours, who I think I've mentioned before, he's like a neighbour in my road, and we chat when we see each other in the street, walking dogs or whatever. He was chatting about some stuff, and he was asking me about our pod and all that sort of stuff, so he may well be listening. And he was talking about a circumstance where someone was... And he was kind of going in the direction of that oversharing thing.
I love an overshare.
I love an oversharer. And I got into one of my favourite little quotes that I like, which is silence isn't golden, it's fucking dangerous.
It is completely
It's where liars and cheats and paedophiles and domestic abusers live. They love silence.
It's a great dark place to hide.
They love it. So silence is shit. And I was saying, mate, you've got to be able to speak, you've got to be able to express, particularly with things like depression and stuff. If you leave it hanging inside, it just gets toxic, and it what's that thing that beer ferments?
Yes.
It ferments and it grows and it becomes poisonous and horrible, and it kills you slowly from the inside. And we had a little chat about it, and he went like, "Do you know what? You're fucking right, actually. You're fucking right." And I was like, "Yeah, man, good on you."
Yeah.
Good on you. So he can have a little bit of, maybe not the whole hero, maybe just the he or the row.
You guys can fight between yourselves about it.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, but thank you to both of them actually, because obviously that just shows that some people are brave enough to talk about it, and I think that's what more people need to do. Right, let's move on to boundaries. And
Yeah. When you say move on, I don't actually know what you're talking about, so you're going to have to hold my hand.
yeah, so I will hopefully guide us all through this. I'm not an expert,
No.
but the reason why I'm bringing up this topic is I've spent a weekend away with some friends over the weekend,
Yeah.
and also in recent weeks as well, speaking to other friends. It's something, and family members as well, it's something that I've realised a lot of people don't do themselves, is setting their own boundaries with other people.
Is this, when you're using the word boundaries, are we talking about one of these things that just exist in the human condition, but we might not all give it the same label?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start off with point one. There's 7 points to go through.
Okay.
Some will be longer than others.
Right.
But we'll start off with the first one, which is physical boundaries. So obviously when we're talking about that, it's mainly touch and personal space as we touch feet under the table.
I quite liked it.
How apt.
I quite liked it.
So
Let's do it again.
yeah, I don't mind that. That's fine.
I like
That's
that.
not a boundary for me.
It's not a boundary for me.
No. So physical boundaries is obviously someone. It could be someone invading your personal space, or you're invading theirs. It could be that you feel uncomfortable having people in your home or going into people's homes. It could be anxiety about going out. So it's all of those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's loads of other points in that, of course. But so really, what I want to move on to is how do you set those boundaries? A, for yourself, and then B, how do you communicate that with other people? So, like, have you got an example for yourself that you think is a physical boundary?
Not really. I mean, a couple of things jumped into my mind, but not really about me setting boundaries.
Okay, go on.
So the first thing was, I'll do them in chronological order, actually.
How efficient?
You know me, mate? I was about 18, 19, and I was with a group of mates, and we were all in a bar. Very noisy, very sort of standing at the bar-y, that sort of shit. Not really my vibe totally, but, you know, you do what you do, you go with the flow. There was the group of guys that I was with. I don't think they were dating, but there was a group of girls where one of the boys liked one of the girls or whatever. So
Okay.
these two, this boy group and girl group, had come together a bit. Now, it's probably fair enough to say that I did not have the most robust mental health when I was in my late teenage years.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, not really. And I got chatting to this girl, and she was not my cup of tea. Let's put it that way. She was
Okay.
really Larry and
Bit loud and obnoxious.
obnoxious. Good word, obnoxious.
Okay.
Anyway, for no apparent reason, right, she run her hands through my hair and then, like, messed my hair up.
Okay.
Like, didn't know the girl that well.
What, just met her that night, sort of thing?
Literally, like,
Okay.
10 minutes before.
Okay. Yeah.
And I sort of recoiled a bit.
Mhm.
And she went, "Oh, someone had a difficult childhood."
Okay, love. You worked that out from touching your hair?
And I just looked at her and I was just like, "You're a dick."
Yeah.
I just went.
Yeah, so that's like that's a physical
That's
boundary
that's
right there. Is
a physical boundary.
Yeah.
But I mean, generally, I'm quite a tactile person, so I don't mind touchy feely.
I think the only really good example that I can have on this one is a couple of years ago, I went out for a Christmas sort of lunch dinner with like a group of guys. Some I know well, some I didn't know so well. And anyway, I'll fast forward through the evening. There's been a bit of a tussle between two of the particular guys. One of the guys I knew well. The other guy, I didn't really know him at all. Just met him that
Playful tussle or
no, actually, well, it was at first, and then it went too far.
a bit aggro?
And a few hours in, one of the guys punched the other bloke. And at that point, I got up from the table and walked out.
Yeah.
And I didn't go back.
No.
Because that was a physical boundary for me, maybe a emotional one as well, but because I'd seen a physical thing happen, that was me out. I was like, nope, I'm done. See you later on.
Not having any part of
It's
this.
not for me.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
So that's a physical boundary for both of us. So obviously invading your own space. Obviously you talk about that there with someone touching your hair and then obviously making that sort of comment.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't particularly mind someone touching my hair, and it wouldn't be a complete lie to say that I had a difficult childhood.
Yeah.
Just the combination of two with a person that's obnoxious, I was just like, I'm not fucking
Yeah.
dealing with you, love.
I think, so another point I'd like to put out this, so obviously I went up to London at the weekend, so obviously you get a train and a tube, etc. Obviously those places can be really crowded, so you might have someone sit down next to you. That can make some people feel uncomfortable as well, especially when it's a stranger, especially in a crowded place. Obviously, really, yourself, you can't do anything about that, especially if it's busy.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you just have to accept the fact that it's busy and...
Can't be helped.
Exactly.
Can't be helped.
But again, if it's a whole carriage full of empty seats and then someone sits down next to you, that's when the anxiety, a lot of people would
Yeah, it's a bit...
cut in, because obviously that's not necessarily... Yeah, it is a bit weird for someone to invade that space of yours.
Only for English people in the south of the country, mate.
I suppose so.
You go to some countries...
Well,
they
I mean,
wouldn't
obviously
need
I would talk to whoever, you know. I'm quite an extroverted person, so I like to chat with whoever we can. But I suppose I'll spark up a conversation with someone, and if they don't sort of want to talk back, then you leave it.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't think I would start up a conversation on the tube, because I am aware that, you know, most people around these parts aren't particularly
I
communicative.
can't help myself at all.
No, some years ago I was at where was it? We were doing a exercise, you know, like you do when you have a work bond.
Oh, like a team building.
Yeah, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Where was it? It wasn't a work thing. Oh, I know. I used to do some volunteering, doing some youth mentoring, and it was a training day run by the council. And
Is this when they had funding?
yeah, before we just let all the children suffer. And we were in this room, fairly big room. I think there was about 12 of us, something like that. And the trainer, I suppose you should call them, wanted to do this exercise on personal space, boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And they had us stand in a line, 2 lines, facing each other. So you butted up with someone, and we were standing about 2 meters apart.
Yeah.
And the exercise was take it in turns. So, like, let's say it was the line A, they go first, and then line B do it in turn. So basically, my partner would walk towards me, and at the moment that I felt that they're in my space, then I would take a step back so that they would know what that limit
That's
was.
a good one.
It's a good, interesting exercise.
Yeah, I like that.
And I was with this woman, seemed like a person, you know, never met her before, met her on that day.
Sure.
Perfectly nice woman, we got on fine. So it was her go first, so she stepped towards me, you know, little pigeon steps.
Yeah.
Stepped towards me, and, you know, she was virtually in my face before I went, okay, yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
And when it was my go, I took 1 step forward, and she was like, nope.
Oh, really?
yeah. And she's like, I really don't
So
like...
that must have been really hard for her to get that close
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. She's like, I really don't like people in my personal space.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like, cool, no, that's just... You do you.
Yeah, definitely.
That's you.
You do you.
You do you.
That is the message
Yeah.
there, definitely. I was about to say that is a thing, and that would have been a...
Bingo.
Yeah.
And you know exactly what I'm like. So, like I say, I took 1 step forward, she stepped back, and I was like, oh shit, you're right.
The empath just goes, I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next one. This one's interesting. Well, I'll say it and then we'll discuss it. So, the second one is sexual boundaries. So,
I don't know really what that means.
okay. So, sexual boundaries are, I suppose the other word that we could put on that is limits as well. So, what your limits are
So, are you talking about, like...
in the bedroom.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word. I'm not doing well for words tonight. Preferences. Sexual preferences.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, definitely.
Your quirks, your kinks, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So this one I discussed over the weekend with a fairly new friend, and I said to her, because we were talking about, you know, sex and what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy, and I asked her what her limits were, just out of a curious thing. And but bless her, you know what? She does actually listen to the pod. Forgot about that. she came out and said,
I've got some editing to do.
No.
No.
She goes, the normal stuff. I don't do puke, piss or poo. And I was like, is that it? She went, pretty much. The only other thing I don't do is age play. And I was like, cool, I get that as well.
Age play, as in pretending to be younger or older than you are?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah. So, obviously, if I asked you what your limits were, you're fairly, in the nicest term, vanilla.
I can't say I know what that means, but
Vanilla means you don't really have any big kinks, anything like that.
but it's just a catch-all term, isn't it?
It's just a casual term.
One person's oranges are another person's apples.
Correct.
You know,
Correct, indeed.
vanilla means nothing.
Obviously, I think that a sexual boundary here, I find that a lot of men and women do not discuss this
Yeah.
as much as they should do, especially with partners that they're with or lovers that they're with.
Also, I think that you probably have a circumstance. In fact, you just brought to mind an ex of mine who I actually saw today.
Okay,
Yeah. She's always very happy to see me.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And when
I take it it's that one.
that one, when we started our relationship, I remember it vividly actually. We were in Brighton and
Okay.
we were laying on the beach having a ice cream, I think, like right at the beginning of our relationship, and we had that conversation.
Okay.
I think there probably are a lot of people that don't have that conversation. But one thing that I identified is that we didn't repeat that conversation.
You didn't communicate it again.
Not really, no. We kind of had that one-off conversation and it never really got communicated again.
Yeah, see I think this is where the issue is, especially in relationships just in general, especially I think when you're younger as well, you get involved with someone and you get your normals, you get your normal sex with them and along those lines, and then
Again, normal is...
yeah, exactly.
It's a
Nothing
very
is.
vague term.
Yeah, exactly.
There
It's
is
very, very vague.
Normal's just a measurement on the median.
And then obviously someone else wants to bring something in, so the other person tries it. So the other person's tried it. Why not, after you've tried something new, why aren't you discussing it?
Indeed.
And make sure that was a safe and positive experience for both parties.
I mean, we all know why. Because, communication can sometimes be difficult.
Correct, and then also, and also some people are people pleasers as well. So
Indeed,
they think that they go, actually, I'll do it for my partner because it's what they want.
That would be horrendous. I would hate the thought that you, particularly like bedroom stuff. If you've, I don't know, tried a sexual position or some sort of... I don't like the word kink. Is there a better word than kink?
I've always used it, but
Practice? A different type of...
whatever.
I think kink, for me, kink feels like some people might hear that word as on the extreme, which is not what I'm trying to communicate.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that's not necessarily what it means. It's just somewhat...
It's what it means to you, though.
I got it. It's a person's quirk. It's their sexual quirk.
Let's go with quirk.
Yeah.
I would hate it if, because I'm not a pressuring sort of bloke.
No.
So if I'd suggested to my partner, do you want to have a go at X? And they had a go at X and then fucking hated it, but wouldn't tell me because they wanted...
Yeah, but...
Or maybe because communication wasn't there, they've assumed that because I've suggested it, I really like it, whereas in fact it might have been my first go and I've gone, that was a bit shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
what I mean?
this is exactly what I mean. Is there's a but I would imagine because you're a bit of a people pleaser and a bit of an empath, there's probably things that you've done that you haven't necessarily gone, well, I didn't actually enjoy that, but she seems to like it, so you know what, I'll do it for her.
I have an absolute nailed on, and in fact I learnt a new term for it.
Okay.
Breath play.
Yeah.
And I fucking hated it. But found myself in a world where it was somewhat required of me.
Right.
Didn't like it at all.
So now that you have that knowledge about you, that's now what we would call in, the kink world, if you like, or the limit world.
Quirk world.
Yeah. So that's a hard limit for you. That's the term that they use. You go, no, I don't want to do that.
But that's not what I did.
No, exactly. So this is what it all comes down to with your partners or partner.
So technically it wasn't a hard limit. So am I to assume that there's a soft limit? Is it like a soft closing door?
Would you... One of
Sorry.
those fire doors.
Could it? Yeah.
Okay, like you get in a relationship tomorrow and they ask you to do that, would you want to do that?
So no, I wouldn't want to do it. But if it was very, very, very important to someone, then
As long as you communicate it, then it could potentially be okay.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It seems it's not in my ken, mate. It don't fit with, lover, not a fighter, that
Yeah.
sort of shit,
Yeah.
It's just not what I like.
Get you.
But again,
It's one thing that I've definitely learned from past experiences, now having new experiences as well, is actually communication now for me, and just talking about what we've just done or what we are planning to do, whatever the case may be. Communication is just so key now.
do you know what I was going to say? And it's not specifically around sexual boundaries or anything, but I'm pretty confident that communication within a relationship, I'm single at the moment, communication within a relationship would be a lot more improved post-therapy.
Definitely, completely agree with you there. Yeah.
I think in my case, can't speak for you, you do that plenty anyway.
I do.
You do. I think in my case, working on the self-value thing, my opinions, I was about to say more important, but I can't do that because that's not me.
No, more self-care.
Don't interrupt and fucking get in there.
Sorry.
My personality doesn't allow me to say that my opinion is more important. The lack of my opinion is less important. Does that make... No, that doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Should we try that again?
Shall we?
Yeah, please.
What am I trying to say? So it's not that... So I'm not trying to say that, my opinion's really fucking important and it overrides yours. What I'm saying is, it probably just works to say less of a people pleaser.
Yeah, yeah,
Stand up for myself a bit.
absolutely. Get that.
Which, there's plenty of people in my history, work colleagues, for example, in certain jobs and positions I've had, that would be amazed to go, what, Phil not speaking his mind? That's madness.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fairly strong character. I'm just, I don't know, wearing an avatar maybe?
Kinda. I think a lot of people do that in relationships of whatever they may be, whether it's casual dating or full on within a relationship. I think it's sadly something that a lot of people do in their younger years more so. But I think really the message should be to male, female, trans, whatever it may be, make sure that you're communicating with any partner that you have how you feel, and continue to do that.
It is very difficult.
It is difficult, but make sure you're looking after yourself, because there's only one of you,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't be completely focused on pleasing that other person as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Remember, you're both doing it to enjoy yourself,
yeah,
not
not completely focused on pleasing that other person solely.
yeah,
It's a spectrum. Like everything, it's a spectrum.
yeah,
I am not advocating go and be a completely selfish prick,
no,
nor am I advocating, lay down, roll over, and do as you're told.
yeah. Yeah.
There's a happy medium in everything.
Some people like that.
Some people like that, Do I like that? No, I don't think I do.
Should we grab a beer?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect, let's grab one. Well, thank you, Kate, for the beer.
Thank you, Kate, for the beer.
Okay, so next one. I think this is probably the biggest one here. So this is emotional and or mental boundaries. So what this covers here is, of course, how you feel. That's going to be in regards to friends, family members, what you can actually deal with on that particular day. So let's say you've got plans with your best mate, but you wake up, you've got a bit of a headache, you don't feel up to it, etc. Are you able to communicate to that person without them, without prejudice coming back from them about you having to cancel on them, that sort of thing? Are you able to have that boundary with friends, relatives, brothers, sisters, whatever it may be, saying, you know what, I don't actually feel good enough today to come out and have dinner with you or go and do that thing that we have planned?
I would normally go down the lying route.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. When I was very depressed, obviously that is a symptom where you don't go out, don't want to be with people.
Yeah, of course.
People suck and, you know. Well, to be fair, in my thing, it was always like, I don't want to drag everyone else down.
Yes, that's sort of how I felt as well. But
So yeah, I became a bit of an expert at making shit excuses for not doing things.
what sort of thing would you say?
Oh, God knows. Anything you like, mate.
Really?
Anything you like. Washing your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, the dog's ill. Or-
Something else to do.
Yeah.
Got work. Work's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been held up.
Got a project that needs to get out. I've got to work on it.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of stuff. But to be honest, everything else that you said there didn't really ring true to me. I mean, I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I have an issue with those sort of boundaries. I think we both have. Well, maybe do you? I think I still do. People in my life where they, if they even have a comprehension of a boundary being in place, they will happily trample all over it
Yeah.
because narcissists.
Yeah. Okay. So let's use that one there. So you know, you're more than aware that I don't talk to either of my parents. So that one there for me is a emotional as well as a mental boundary for me. The reason why I don't talk to those people is because of their behaviour throughout my 36 years, and it continues to do so. They're very, very toxic to my well-being.
Yep.
So my boundary, which I've set myself, is I do not communicate in any way, shape or form with those people.
Yeah.
That's my boundary that I've put on them.
It's kind of extreme, but you know.
It is extreme,
What
but
works for you?
but it's taken a long time for me to come to terms that I've set that boundary and practice that boundary. Of course, time and time again, I have gone back. Then they do another toxic trait towards me, and I go no. So what I'm trying to really say there is I've given them a lot of chances to be pleasant with me. I'm not asking them to apologise for what they've done in the past. It was just like, no, I've told you what I expect from you. Do not cross that line. If you sit there and bitch about me or a sibling or friends of mine or even friends of yours, I'm not interested. That's a boundary for me. I want you to be nice around me because guess what? It's not that hard to do.
I mean, I would say I'm quite comfortable with those emotional boundaries and stuff. There are people that will cross them, and I know they will continue to cross them. I think in later years, in more recent years, almost certainly, again as a result of therapy, I've become much better at building my armour. So
What do you mean by that?
if you imagine a boundary as a circle, and someone crosses over that circle and they are
like a
within
sumo ring
yeah,
around you?
okay,
Yeah.
go with a sumo ring,
Yeah.
and people stepping into that ring is them, encroaching on your boundaries, rather than having to make some great effort to eject them from that circle.
Yeah.
I just have better armour where that crossing of the
So
boundary.
if they say
does
something or
and
do a
it
particular
doesn't,
action, it doesn't affect you?
that's what I was about to say before you interrupted me. Yeah.
Really? I get you on that bit, but I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to use that lovely sort of Daily Mail sort of thing. I'm not a snowflake. I don't mind people saying something towards me that makes me feel uncomfortable.
No.
But if someone continues to do that every time you see them, they always say something that puts you at, so they put you in an uneasy spot, or they say, I don't know, racist comments around you. They say homophobic comments around you. Why on earth am I going to be wanting to be near that person? I'll keep that person away from me because we're not going to agree. It's always going to get heightened.
Racist or homophobic comments isn't relevant to what I'm saying.
No.
Because there is no need. there's no value and no need for anyone to be making racist or homophobic comments.
No.
So, I have no issue with calling out twats.
Yeah.
But
We do it quite often.
we do.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is, so perhaps the easiest way to explain is, if in a scenario like that, don't be thinking about yourself. So I'm not thinking about myself going, okay, these are my boundaries and these are my standards, and you are stepping over my boundaries and you are not living up to my standards. I'm thinking about the other person. Why is that person saying that? Why is that person feeling those things?
Yeah.
And when you evaluate that, you can come to some sort of sympathetic understanding.
You can, but if you've already tried to communicate with that person time and time again that behaviour is not okay, why would you put yourself back into that situation with them time and time again? Surely you would just
Because
go, you know what, that person's not good for me.
No, because I understand what's going on in that person's life. And I make accommodation and allowances.
So the example that I just gave you about my mum and dad, do you think that I should be making an effort with those people?
I don't know about an effort, no. If they were making attempts to be in contact with you,
Which they're not.
which they're not, then being somewhat accommodating, somewhat tolerant, and trying to look at them in the round and say, so like a classic example, you look at a bloke in prison, right? And he's in there for murder. It was on a programme that I watched recently.
Okay.
And the guy's in there for murder. He's still guilty. He should still be in prison. But once you learn his backstory and realise that he's
get
been
it.
beaten since he was 3 years old and all he's ever known is a language of violence, I can give some allowance.
Yeah.
He is still guilty. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
saying, I'll let him out and give him a cuddle.
I am empathic towards that, of course I am, but
Sympathetic.
sympathetic, yeah. Thanks, Phil.
Sorry.
The language master. Yeah, I sort of get that. I do.
You can't be empathetic to it. Empathy is going, I know how that feeling feels. Sympathetic is, I understand.
Well, I would
how
in
you
that
feel.
position of the example you just give, but you know.
You can't, because to my knowledge, you're not a murderer, mate.
Oh no, no, but I'm talking about
You-
the violent part. you
Can
know.
I just check? You haven't murdered anyone, have you?
Not recently.
Okay. Oh, so maybe you can be empathetic.
No, you're joking. I think I hit a fox once in the car. Does that?
Oh, I hit a cat once.
Did you?
Broke my heart.
You evil, evil bastard.
Fucking nothing compared to what it did to the cat.
Emotional boundaries, mental boundaries with friends and relationships then.
I had a situation where we went on holiday once. Mm-hmm. We had a big group of friends. Boys and girls, can't remember how many boys. So there were in the group of friends, I think there was about 6 boys, and amongst those 6 boys there were 3 boys who had 3 girlfriends, and they were the girls of the group.
Oh, okay.
So on this holiday there were 3 girls,
3 couples.
3 girls, 3 couples, and then 3 other boys. And
So 3 couples, 3 single guys.
yeah, and some of the girls were somewhat headstrong. And
Really?
yeah, and second day of the holiday, we were abroad for another friend's wedding, who lived abroad. So we've known
Oh,
them
okay,
when
so
they
you've
lived in the
travelled
UK.
there to go to the wedding.
Yeah, it's not like they've done one of those. Oh, we've decided to get married in Barbados.
Yeah. We're
Brilliant.
going to do it at sunset on
Yeah,
the beach.
Great. Everyone's got
I'm
to
going to
suddenly.
cost you a fortune.
Everyone's got to drop $6,000 to go and
Yeah.
watch you get married when you
Yeah.
could have done it down the road.
Yeah.
No, not one of those. They actually lived in the country that we
Fair
went to.
play.
Anyway, second day, we rented this big villa. Second day of the holiday, walk downstairs from my bedroom, and one of the girls says to me, "Oh, that's it, Phil. The whole itinerary is complete. There's not a single moment left in the holiday."
What?
And
What does that mean?
I was like, "Sorry, what? Beg your pardon?" She went, "Yeah, look, we've planned everything out. We know exactly what we're doing on every day of the holiday." And I was like, "Where was I in this discussion?" And they went, oh, well, we just thought, you'll enjoy doing the things that we want to do.
Oh, will I?
Yeah. Oh, no. Fuck that. And that was literally my words. Fuck that. Mate, there was horse riding in there. I don't... Fuck off.
You and a fucking horse riding.
Can you see me? Fuck off. And where we were staying, we had a villa on the beach. And about 5-minute walk, there was a bar.
Beautiful.
And I was like...
What was it? Nice golden sandy beaches as well?
It was nice.
Oh, mate, I spent the day on the beach getting pissed.
I had a very good holiday, put it that way.
You didn't go horse riding.
I did not go horse riding. So I went, fuck that. I'm going to the bar. I'm going to go and get a beer. I'm guessing that's not in your itinerary, but,
That's
fuck
what I'm
it.
doing.
Yeah. That's what I did. I was there for a couple of hours. And 2 of the girls came down and was like, oh, Phil, come on, Phil, come on. And I was like, what are you thinking? I'm not the sort of person that plans everything to the nth degree anyway.
Definitely not you.
No, just go with the flow, see what happens. And B, I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
One of them was shark diving. I
Oh my
don't
God, I'd say fuck off to that.
I don't like the sea.
I don't like sharks.
Mate, the reason I don't like the sea is because things like sharks live in it.
Yeah.
No,
I hear ya.
no.
Yeah.
No. So anyway, I had a fucking great time. In that bar, about 2 days later, in that same bar, I was sitting there having a lovely time, just sitting there drinking a couple of beers, reading a book.
Lovely.
There was a fella sitting at another table, and he was sitting down and he'd been doing a little bit of work on his laptop, and he finished his work and he was just gazing out over the beach, enjoying life.
Enjoying the view.
And I thought, do you know what? Fuck it, meet some people. So I got up from a table.
You'd had a few beers, you're a bit brave.
No, not even that much, mate. Anyway, I said to him, excuse me, mate, can I buy you a beer? I'm on my holiday, I just fancy a chat. And he's like, yeah, sure, man, sit down. Nice, mate. And we got chatting, and it's like, one of the first things that comes up, so what do you do? And I was like...
How British?
I was sold, mate. I was sold.
What was his job?
I'm a clown.
Clown?
A clown, that's his job. He was a fucking clown.
Fucking marvellous.
Brilliant. I was like, I'm getting you another beer, mate. Yeah. Anyway, we ended up...
Like a kid's clown or
A clown.
or like a circus clown?
A kid's clown, like he owned his own kids' entertainment business. He was a clown. That's fucking genius, mate.
How much can you talk about with that? It's just endless. Do you have a little car? Do you have shoes that are too big? What does your makeup kit entail?
Does your tie squirt water? It was fucking genius, mate. I was like, I've got so many great... Anyway, we ended up hanging out for a couple of days. And
A couple of days?
yeah, a couple of days, because he was a local. So
Fucking
we went into the city, he introduced me to the mates. There was one time we went to this pool hall, it was really fucking leery and raucous. And I was just on my game, mate, and I stayed on the table for about 10 games in a row. And
Oh.
eventually he was like, we're going to have to go, mate.
I really, because
Yeah.
you were upsetting people.
Yeah.
I love it.
And one of the big highlights about that is we were out in... So this was in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So we were out on North Road in Cape Town, which is like the party bit. Fucking having a great time in this club, mate. Anyway, lots of substances were consumed, and I was out all night, right?
Brilliant.
And I start getting phone calls from this lot that I've fallen out with,
Yeah.
like from about 2 a.m, and then by 4 a.m, it's like, Phil, we're really worried about you.
Where the fuck are you?
So I just sent them a photo of the inside of this club. Yeah.
I'm fucking have a brilliant time.
I'm not on a horse.
I was about to put in a joke then, but I stopped myself because I'm learning from this pod. Yeah, I think when it comes to boundaries now, or like with friends, for me, I now know when to say no.
Okay.
So if someone says, "Mark, do you want to come and do this?" and it's the same thing as you there, no, I don't want to go do that. That is not a thing that I want to do. If someone gives me a experience, I go, "Oh, Mark, we're going to go." I don't know, what would it be? We're going to go on the little tour that you can walk over the Millennium Dome. That, if someone gave me that option, I might go do that. I might do that. Because it would push my boundaries because I'm not good with heights. I'd be like, you know what, I might enjoy that. You know what?
I think as an outcome of me saying no a lot when I was ill, I'm trying to say yes more.
I'm trying to say yes more, but I still know what my limits are.
And I'm kind of running out of life. So I need to...
You're only 24.
I am, I forgot, sorry.
Yeah, bingo. Okay. So fourth on the list is spiritual or religious boundaries. Now, you're an atheist, right?
Yes,
Same here.
yes.
A little bit spiritual, I suppose.
Don't believe in a man in the sky.
No.
Right.
I believe that the universe has a thing, but that's not really a religious thing for me.
No.
So boundaries there, you and I really can't talk from personal experience there, except for respect people's opinions and their religion, really, I suppose. Like people have, what's the word? I've completely lost it. If they have a belief,
Faith.
then you go, okay, cool,
Mate, if you believe in a man in the sky, you crack on.
then that's fine.
There's a saying, I don't know, it's really famous, like from a book or something, I don't know. Known it since I was a kid, and it's something like, I don't believe in God, but I'll fight for your right to believe in that. You know,
Yeah.
if that works for you, man,
Yeah.
couldn't go.
That'd be funny. You can even cross over to that. It goes a bit off topic, but you could even fight for that for people that are gay and trans.
Totally.
I am not that, but I fight for your right to be that way because I would hate to be in your shoes and not have that right. That would
Don't be a
awful.
Don't be a bystander.
No.
What's the what's that poem? Nimla? It goes something like, there's several verses and I can't remember it all, but it basically goes, I can't remember, so I'm going to make it up a little bit, but first they came for the disabled, but I didn't fight because I wasn't disabled. Then they came for the gays, but I didn't fight because I wasn't gay. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to fight for me.
Strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do you, mate. I mean, as long as you're not hurting anyone. The crazy religious, they can.
Well, like the cults. Yeah.
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 You know, like the ones
Yeah,
that.
but they're causing pain.
Yeah.
So-
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
God hates you because of something. Fuck off.
yeah. Oh, what's those ones in the States? Is it it's West something? Like
Oh
that?
yeah, the West Baptist, West
Yes.
Borough Baptist or something.
like
Yeah.
that. You guys are going to hell. That's you know.
Yeah.
God has actually something very specially reserved for
Yeah.
you fuckers.
Yeah. Do you know what? I do not believe in heaven or hell,
Yeah.
but I hope you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the devil's going to have a wicked time with you.
Weird fuckers.
Fifth on the list is financial and material boundaries. Now, we'll quickly go over this, but I do actually want to do a pod about what money means to people, what careers mean to people, and also what material means to people. So we'll quickly do it. Do you have a financial boundary? Like lending money or borrowing money, or is that thing for
No, I don't think so.
that's not really a thing for me.
I
I'm
mean-
quite giving with my money, if I'm
If
honest.
someone said, "Can you lend me some money?" and I can afford it, then yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have an issue with borrowing some money if I needed to.
sure.
No. I guess those, the extreme Instagram influencer type people where they're...
Yeah,
The one that's just jumped to mind was that twat that got jailed recently. He was off one of the reality, like a Love Island or something like that,
okay.
and he'd taken secret footage, I don't know whether they still photos or video, sexual photos of his partner, ex-partner,
Yeah,
and like sold them or published
Sold
them.
them?
Yeah, something like that.
God.
I think he sold them. But he was one of those like really, really ostentatious flash pricks, and he was turning up to court in a Rolls Royce and this really, really
Extravagant suit or something.
extravagant fur coat, suit and fur coat.
Right.
And after the trial, it turned out that the Rolls Royce and the fur coat were both hired. You know,
Yeah.
so that need to
Show off
demonstrate.
sort of thing.
I
Yeah,
think the kids call it flexing, don't they?
flexing. Yeah,
That, yeah, get over yourself, mate. What you doing? Don't get that.
Knob.
Knobhead.
Knobhead. Yeah, so that one's quite brief then. Yeah. And actually, I'll give one thing in there real quick. Financial and material things used to mean a lot to me.
I was about to say that. You've told me. in the
Yeah.
past.
But again, since therapy and understanding actually who I am, I realise that it means actually not a lot to me at all.
We only have to look at your car.
My car,
Yeah.
Hyundai i10, my friend.
It's a great car.
Flash as fuck.
But when,
Cheap to run.
but if you were like really,
Well, look at the cars that I used to have.
exactly.
Yeah, you know,
you don't need to be performative
no,
any longer.
no. Quite happy with who I am. I love my friends. I love who I'm around. I like where I live. I like my job most of the time.
Don't like Becky. She's gone on holiday again, bitch.
I know.
It's not fair, man.
Becky, you're cruel. You didn't invite us and pay for us to come with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Selfish.
Selfish, mate. Selfish.
The next one's a weird one. Time boundaries. Now, I don't really know what they mean by this one. Is that keeping a schedule, or is that aware of how
Is it
long or
schedule?
short your life can be?
Is it schedule or schedule?
Schedule, I say, but
I think it should probably be schedule.
of course you would
Schedule
disagree
sounds
with
more
me.
English. Schedule sounds American. You can say whatever you like.
Does it
love.
matter?
You can say whatever you
Does
like.
it matter?
I mean,
That's a boundary.
on some level, mate, it does. 'Cause I'm a bit, pedants are my favourite ants.
Yeah. You have a favourite ant? That's weird.
It's a pedant.
I know, I'm joking.
Time boundaries. I mean, is that like people using up your time?
Potentially so, actually.
People that take 10 minutes to say something that could be said in 30 seconds.
Or the long-winded email
Oh.
that just goes, which you could have said in 3 words.
You can fuck off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not getting that time back.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's people that put really long sign-offs at the end of like an email or a letter as well. It's just like literally just put it down as kind regards or thank you or whatever.
Mate,
Don't need to drag this shit on. It
I-
really doesn't matter.
I dropped the word kind about 10 years ago. It's now just regards.
Yeah. It's more efficient for you. It's
You-
more efficient for them to read.
You know
Don't
what I
kill
mean.
their time.
You know what I mean.
So time boundary is don't make people read or listen to you for longer. Oh God, don't listen to us then.
Bollocks. What have we done? What have we done? This is very, very...
That's the time boundary.
This is a valuable use of your time, pod listeners.
I hope that you're only listening to us when you're doing something else, e.g., driving or at work, whatever. That's
Walking the dog.
walking the dog. Yeah. Do not be sat on the sofa listening to us.
No.
Because hey, there's better things to do.
Yeah.
Potentially. Actually, saying that though, I do listen to a pod on the sofa sometimes.
Do you know what? I've been reading some stuff and I've been listening to some pods that are all kind
We
of
haven't sold ourselves there.
around about productivity and time management and stuff. And yeah, there's a common theme of make sure you're making the best use of your time. Like, for example, listening to a pod whilst you're walking the dog or something. But there's a large part of me that thinks that sitting on a sofa doing fuck all is really quite enjoyable.
Yeah, oh definitely. Yeah, you do need like a sofa day or a duvet day. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
Last one is a non-negotiable boundaries. Now, I do have one for this.
Oh.
When we talk about that, it's actually understanding who you are and who you let into your life. That's how I read that. And that is, if this person has mistreated you or you just don't get along and you find yourself making changes within yourself to let them into your life, I would say that's a non-negotiable boundary with yourself. You should not be doing that for someone else. So definitely be cautious with that stuff and make sure that you are not doing anything extra just because you think you should be for that particular person.
I mean, going by what we've discussed in those previous points, it won't surprise you to find that I disagree.
You disagree with me?
I know.
God, that doesn't happen often.
I do it a lot.
Go on. So, what's your take?
Mostly it's because you're wrong.
Andrew?
Yeah, sorry, did I just cross the line there?
I doubt it.
I don't know, it sounds a little bit harsh to me. People make mistakes and sometimes you need
They
some
do, and
forgiveness.
that's fine. But if you've got someone that doesn't apologise or is unable to listen to you or take on board at least what you're saying, I would say that person is, at that particular time, they're not worthy of you and your time and your efforts.
Yeah, but time isn't a point, is it? It's a continuum. So when I say this, I'm not having a pop at you. I know I joke
I
about,
get this.
like,
I get this.
narcissist and all that sort of shit. But it's about, it could be a situation, it could be a scenario where there's many people involved. But let's take, to simplify it, where there's one person involved. My character, my thought patterns never assume that I'm the most important person in that interaction.
Definitely.
And if you frame it in such a way where the other person has importance, then, we've all had a scenario where you can have someone you like or you love dearly or whatever, and they've been a dick, at a particular moment in time. Still love them though.
Yeah, of course, I get that.
So, being tolerant, allowing the flexibility for someone to be human, to err is to be human. Humans make mistakes. Sometimes it's very difficult for people to actually admit mistakes and to try and make amends for mistakes, but it doesn't mean they don't recognise it as a mistake.
But you shouldn't be having to sacrifice parts of yourself to please them, right?
No. I mean, in some respects, in a minor level, yeah. I mean, if
it's easy and you're able to, that's fine for you
Yeah.
to do so. But if it's actually taking away from your well-being...
Give me an example.
Okay, well, let's say you're in a relationship. Let's say it's a long-term one. You've been with that person for a long time. And that person's behaviour over a long period of time, you've tried to help them. You've tried, and you have sacrificed little bits of yourself to try and appease them, maybe trying to influence them to make a positive change for themselves, and they are just not willing to do it, and it's then taking a toll on your mental well-being and on yourself. Why are you sacrificing so much for someone else?
Well, I mean, sacrifice is a very strong word, but in that scenario,
It is what people do.
then you'd have to end the relationship, surely.
Yeah. And that's the point I'm trying to go to. It's
Okay.
like you shouldn't be, especially when it goes to your mental health as well, you shouldn't be sacrificing so much for one particular person. You are the most important person to yourself, because let's be honest, you should love yourself much more than you can ever love someone else, because you are the other person that matters as well. You're able to sacrifice for other people, but
I'm
you
going to
shouldn't.
disagree again.
But you shouldn't be giving too much, especially when it's a toll to yourself.
There was a study of care homes, and the care nurses and palliative nurses
Those
surveyed,
That's heroes right there.
heroes, were asked to capture what people said when they were dying, like in their last moments. No one's ever said, "Oh, I should have worked harder." No one's ever said, "I should have made more money." It just doesn't. And in the end of this report, they summarised it as a conclusion. And the three things that, for a happy life, you should have something to do, someone to love, and something to look forward to. And in all of those three things, you are never the most important. It's always the other people that are important. The people you love, the people you're doing things with, and the people you're looking forward to being with.
I completely agree, but it's the right people in your life for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you've got a complete knobhead toxic person, then,
Bin them off.
bit them off, yeah.
Cool.
But don't make rash decisions.
Definitely.
They might be experiencing something.
Yeah, I agreed. And I don't mean, I'm not trying to put out the message there that you shouldn't care. You should definitely care about other people, definitely. But be cautious of it. And make sure that you do have your boundaries set of what your limit is.
No, fuck it. Just throw yourself in with reckless abandon and see what happens.
Are we going to get another beer, or are
so.
we done?
I think we're, done with the pod, because I think that's a nice place to end.
Yeah,
And drink some more beer.
definitely.
Okay, well, in that case,
Thanks, dude. I've liked this one.
I enjoyed it. Let's see what the pod's say. Hey, pod listener people, can you please give us some comments?
Definitely, we do need more from you.
We're lacking the love here.
We're lacking the love.
Lacking the
It's a
love.
boundary for us. Yeah, we do want to hear from you. Best place to contact us on is Instagram.
Do you know what do you call it? Do you call it an address handle?
The handle is pubcast_PM.
PM. Okay.
All marked.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Good work.
Thanks, man. It took a long time to work that one out.
You're a fucking genius.
Yeah.
Right. Okay then. Well, let's not get out of here. Let's close up this podcast and drink the beer.
Let's close up this one. Today's your tab, so let's definitely have like 3 or 4 more. Perfect.
Think I paid for it yesterday.
Yeah, but you did land me with
No.
quite a big tab the other day, which I had 2 pints and you had something like 6.
That's
so,
a lie.
yeah. Well, it's something along those lines.
Slander. This is getting edited out.
Phil,
Mark.
love
Love.
to the podcast listeners as well.
Love, Zoe. See you next time, guys.
See you later on.